person truly deserves it. He's a 97-year-old. It was his dream to build the biggest statue, and like sir mentioned a few minutes ago, he's actually bet the Statue of Liberty with the Statue of Unity. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Padma Bhushan Sri Ram Sultan. Everybody, please put your hands together for him. I would request his son, Sri Anil Ram Sultan, to please escort him to the stage. Anil Sutar sir is here, and he's going to get Padma Bhushan Shri Ram Sutar sir on stage. And the clap has to go on. Come on, he's made us so proud. By the way, the statue that he's built is 182 meters high. It's of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Thank you so much. For everyone who's still sitting, please put requesting for a standing ovation.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray! Alright, he's probably the youngest amongst all of us. He's just 97. That's it.
Hello.
Thank you so much, Shri Anil Sutarji, for escorting Ramji on stage. Ramji, can I request you to please take a seat on stage? Thank you so much. Thank you. Moving on to the next person, Shri Anjan Srivastav sir. He needs no special introduction. We've seen him throughout our life. He has 52 years experience on stage, theatre and film. Ladies and gentlemen, please, come on, let's put our hands together for Shri Anjan Srivastav sir. I would request Dr. Nirmal Bansal to please escort him on stage. With that smile on your face, Anjan sir, you still look less than 52-year-old.
Yes, sir, look at you.
चश्मा निकालूं क्या?
सर आप ऐसे भी हैंडसम लग रहे हो.
अंजन जी सामने. श्रीवास्तव जी सामने. अंजन जी एक बार.
क्या बात.
Thank you sir.
Thank you so much. Shukriya. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. I would request you to please be seated on stage with us. And it's time for us to invite the last special guest of honor on stage. He needs no special introduction. If you talk about a rags to riches story, well, we are talking about this well-connected person, an entrepreneur in various sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Harvinder Pal Timmy Mehta ji. And I would request Dr. Pradeep Kumar ji to please escort him to stage. I think I'll have to go back to my 1, 2, 3 exercise. Come on, everyone, put your hands together for Timmy ji, please. Oh, look at that smile on stage. I think he deserves it.
Sir.
I've heard so much about him that he's so well connected, even in social events. Now I know why.
Wait.
Smile.
टिम्मी जी इधर. टिम्मी जी एक बार सामने इधर देखना. हाँ. वेट सर वेट. एक मिनट सर. टिम्मी जी. हाँ. रोल करिए.
Yes, look here.
होल्ड सर.
मेरा नया प्रीवियर मेरे को पीछे पड़ा हुआ है इसलिए नहीं कहा
Thank you so much. Timiji, I request you to please take a seat. And we have one more special guest of honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Madhav Praban Acharya ji, who's amongst us right there. What do we talk about his knowledge? He has spread across in various countries and even domestically. I request Dr. Dubey to please escort him to stage. From one end of the banquet to the other end, yes. And then to the stage. Thank you so much everyone who's clapping without me asking you to. For everyone else, please put hands together for Acharya ji who's coming on stage.
For those people who do not know Khalil Gibran, he was a Lebanese author, and he has written some of those very, very emotional, very, very socially conscious, against the religious dogmas, very well celebrated authority in the world. I remember his line, which makes me so I mean, it's a very profound, of course. It says, do not love half lovers. Do not entertain half friends. Do not indulge in works of the half talented. Do not live half life. And do not die half dead. So this is, so I think the idea is that we must live to the fullest, and that is the mission of life. And you know, Dr. Chaudhary, Dr. Anil Chaudhary had set up a college called KV College in Meerut, besides many other colleges, which enrolls about 5,000 students from various disciplines, and also established IPT, as I mentioned to you. He translated hundreds of books in his lifespan to continue on his vision and legacy. We have Dr. Vivek Chaudhary, who is carrying forward the innings, and I think expanding the horizons exponentially. Big hand for Dr. Vivek Chaudhary. And I think he is now the chairman of IIPT and vice president called Superior Robert de Sorbonne, had instituted an award called Bharat Samman. I think this Bharat Samman is basically recognition under this Azadi Ka Mahotsav. You must have heard about Azadi Ka Mahotsav. This is a great tribute to this country's freedom movement, and I think recognizing the sports and talent who are contributing enormously in the field, and that's why Bharat Samman has been instituted in the fond memories of Dr. Narendra Chaudhary, and we are going to honor such elite and distinguished personalities. But since we are going to start, this will be the debutant at the first time this Narendra Chaudhary Memorial Lecture will happen, and it will touch upon the various aspects of the society. To begin with, we have another very illustrious personality who has done an enormous job and translated his life from a chartered accountant to the wellness, the mental wellness. He's working, I had spent a great deal of time. I think one of the gifts to the country, Dr. Anil Khandelwal, who is working relentlessly on mental wellness. He will be speaking on mental wellness. The time is, of course, very short. We have very distinguished personalities like Dr. Komal Jain, and who is, I mean, if we get some time, we will ask you to speak a few words on what you're doing. And also, so all these achievements, I think we are going to have a great session, great interaction with Anil Khandelwal. Give a big hand for, I want him to get up and just show up his face. Very, very talented guy. So if you listen to him, I'm sure all the guys who are suffering from any mental distress, the stress will disappear in those seconds. This will be one of the takeaway of this convocation ceremony. So I want to finish myself as I'm under tremendous time restraint. Thank you very much, Dr. Bansal, for allowing me to speak this much, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I want to say Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would request Dr. Tyagi to please join us on stage. While ladies and gentlemen, you put your hands together for Dr. Anil Khandelwal, who's coming and joining us on stage. And like sir rightly mentioned, it will be a memorial lecture on mental wellness and work-life balance. Please put your hands together for Senior Dr. Anil Khandelwal, Sorbon International Advisory Board and Jury Member.
Good evening, everyone. It has been very charging this far, isn't it? I'm sure the blood pressure is beyond normal. And we are all very happy and smiling, isn't it? So that should be the way of life all the time, 24/7, isn't it? And that's where I call it a mind-body connection, right? When we are happy, what happens? Anyone can answer?
We are full of energy.
Basically, when we are happy, then we don't have any desire. And when we don't have any desire, we are happy. So this is how we should be. In fact, first of all, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak over here. My profession has been a finance guy. I'm a chartered accountant way back in 1981. But somehow, during my corporate journey and traveling all over the world, I figured out that something which is very important and relevant, and post-COVID in particular, the topic on mental wellness has becoming a very serious subject. and somehow we all, facially or feel very happy about it, but internally we know the pressures of the families who have been suffering in the past is something. It reminds us that what we really need to do, we should refresh ourselves. So while I'll not take much time because the time is too limited on hand, and in fact I wanted this presentation to be there on the screen so that you could have seen some pictures and which are very engrossing when we look at that. Anyway, so a point which I'm trying to say that today, I was reading a book, Dr. Prade, it's authored by Kelly Gors, by Heel, and in fact one of the best book I would say. And she said, rather Dr. Bruce Lipton, I do not know if you heard this name, Dr. Joe Dispenza, there's some very eminent podcasters, and they say that 90% of the illness is all due to stress. Is it correct statement? 90%. Because what happens when there is stress, it causes inflammation in the body. External injuries we can see, but internal injuries we do not. And for that we have to go to the hospital for CT scans, X-rays and whatnot. So somehow it is very, very important to reflect that what causes. And while I say this, something very important that we have always been thinking, a lot of thoughts which come to our mind 24/7. When we sleep also there are thoughts which are there. And these thoughts over a period of time, they translate into our feelings, isn't it? And these feelings, they get reflected in our attitude. Just look at your journey and you will find yourself that this is really happening with us every day, every minute. And this attitude gets reflected in our actions. Visualize. And these actions over a period of time, when we keep doing it, becomes our habits. And these habits eventually become our personality, and as a personality, it becomes our destiny. So ultimately, it becomes very important that what kind of our thoughts which run past our mind, they are negative, they are waste, they are unnecessary. And you will be surprised as per the scientific analysis of probably 90% of the thoughts, they are not required. And they are the responsible for our stress. So when it comes to the subject of mental wellness, it becomes very important to reflect our own journey and look at that what is causing our inner injuries. And that's where we will find that body can heal on its own. It does not require any doctor. And that's why at times I say, because there's a statement that what we eat we become, isn't it? What we think we become. Right? So it is very, very important to reflect each aspect of our life journey, every moment, that we will not allow stress to become part of our system. And the moment we start, and again, when it comes to me, and I don't mind sharing my personal experience, when in fact, I call myself my biological age, my chronological is 65, but I'm biologically 41. Reason being that this is something which I've been practicing for over a period of time, meaning thereby that I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. Probably people sleep at that time. And that's the time when you are connected with, the God is sitting idle, right? Waiting for people like me. And then I get the purest blessings. And probably that's how I start my day. And that brings in the mental alertness, mental wellness. I'm not saying that you got to literally follow that, but point I'm trying to say that we need to learn to empty our mind. And better we empty our mind, we create space for betterment. Not for self, but for the society, but for wherever we are attached to or associated with. And therefore, my point of saying is that we need to reflect in order to address that which caused 90% of the illness very precisely. And that's where you will find that every day we see an improvement happening within us. I'm really honored and privileged to see a gentleman 97 years old. It's just unbelievable. And that too creating a world record. So we all have that power. Look at Mr. Anjan Srivastav. I still remember that Wagle Ki Duniya. Whenever you see that, you feel light. You see the life is nothing but celebration. And that is how we need to live life. We got to celebrate every day. And not that we need to find a location to go to a mountains or go to, no, why? My house, my workplace, my friends, my society. Every moment we need to think how best we can not only improve within us, but create or flow the vibrations which create happiness, which create love, which create peace, which create a new level of wisdom. Wisdom is not what is written in the books. Wisdom is something your attitude. Wisdom is something when you spread the waves of happiness. And that is how, again coming to the point of that mental wellness we talk about, it is within us. So, in fact, I was reading a statement, worry, which we always, on something or the other, means writing a negative movie script of life, watching the movie repeatedly on the screen of our mind and creating fear each time. Obviously, when the fear is there continuously, and now I have learned a lot about the human anatomy, right? Just because of my passion of learning about this body better and better, I figured out that there are basically 3 fundamental factors which cause illness to us. And the first and the foremost is stress. And because of the stress, when you hurt something, then you see that there is an inflammation. तो सूजन हो जाती है. Internal injuries we do not know. And stress is causing a lot of inflammation in our body day in, day out. Imagine why I am putting this stress again and again, this word, because that is causing a lot of need for medical or hospitalization, or even the negativity anywhere when we go to the hospital as an example, and I've seen that we come back with what? Not the positive vibrations, negatives. Why at all? Rather, we should be spreading the blessings. We should be creating a positivity, and you will see a change. The patient is recovering much faster. So this is how the environment which can be built, not within self, but outside as well. So just a very quick one, which I say that we have to question ourselves. Questioning the self is very, very important. Like, who am I? And what do I want? How many times we have asked this question to ourselves? We are so busy in, day out, and something or the other, and we forget to ask, who am I and what do I want? What's my purpose in this life? And what sort of contribution do I want to make? What are the major stresses in my life? We need to reflect. And are they constant or temporary? How well do I feel when I'm coping with stress? This is self-examination. Where do I stand? Are there important feelings I'm hiding from myself and others? अंदर से हम इतने घुलते रहते हैं, right? We do not come out. I said, just forget, just be open, right? It will take just one time effort, and you will see very light. And when you are light, believe me, you are might. And that's something we got to always remember. So there are a couple of more questions which you can think yourself, since the time is short. Now, very important point which I want to make it, in order to make a topic called mental wellness, whether in a work life or in a home life or wherever, whatever. 4 things you remember, and that will turn the whole life beautiful. The first, if I ask and raise your hands, how many of you are having a restful sleep? Raise your hands. Restful sleep, not sleep, restful sleep. Very few hands. Now imagine that restful sleep is a big medicine, and that brings the quality of mental wellness. And people are consuming, this melatonin and whatnot. And these are all chemicals. We all know that. And if we continuously take them, what happens? They tend to become stones in the body, in a gallbladder or in a kidney. Why? And now just reflect. Go back and think, why I'm not able to have this restful sleep? And believe me, this is a big medicine. Very, very big medicine. Second important is that exercise, physical activity. Are we engaged in sports activity? Are we engaged in some running, walking, staying close to the mother nature? How many of us? Let's reflect that. The third is nutritious diet. Kitchen is the best clinic. The mother or wife managing the kitchen is the right dietitian and clinician. We need not to go anywhere. It is there. And in fact, I'm coining a concept called making a mother or wife managing the kitchen as a chief happiness officer. Right? They should also be designated and elevated in the house. And I'm telling you, the vibrations will become different. Outside your house, just put a board, no anger zone. just putting no enter zone, and when you walk into the house, you are not allowed. Imagine the transformation it will bring. And the last, and rather the most important, is meditation. Meditation is the real medication. Meditation does not mean close your eyes. Meditation means to become thoughtless. The moment you are thoughtless, you find a space to absorb some better stuff. I know time is short, and I'll conclude because time is short. So let me just make a statement. I'll leave the key takeaways. Of course, there are plenty of stuff to talk about. It's time to address the prevalence of chronic disease and make changes that support a natural state of health and ease. 90% of what brings to the doctor is stress-related illness. There are three basic types of stress: physical, chemical, and emotional. Physical means the bodily diseases. Chemicals means we keep consuming chemicals in the form of medicines, and we know the side effects, the dents in the body and the injuries. And the third is your emotional illness. We not to talk much on this. And let me conclude by saying that there are only 2 days in our life, and nothing can be done for those 2 days. And which are those 2 days? One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. Today is the right day to do the best we can. So with these words, I'd like to close this brief session. And last but not the least, remember 4 words: relax, refresh, rejuvenate, and restore and revive. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Anil sir. That was fabulous and much needed around this time. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've spoken about Bharat Samman Awards, and it's time to felicitate our awardees. Who do we start with? Any guesses? No guesses? You know the sequence, you're standing right next to me. Alright, so we'll start with the person who I call the youngest person who we have here in the banquet. Ladies and gentlemen, person who needs no further introduction, Padma Bhushan Shri Ram Sultan ji. Please put your hands together, and I would request Dr. Prado, Dr. Chaudhary, and Dr. Tyagi to please step forward and felicitate Shri Ram Sultan ji.
ले एक बार सामने देखना सर। राम सुतार जी सामने। सर सर सर
राम सर
सामने सर, या इधर इधर। टिमी जी सर सर लुक स्ट्रेट, या
This is the Bharat Samman felicitation.
अंजन जी सर।
Thank you so much.
हो गया, उधर उधर चले जाओ, पीछे लाइव करो।
Thank you so much, sir. सर, हमने 3 बार आपको स्टेज पे बुलाया है, और ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि आपको कुछ बोले बगैर यहाँ से भेजे। ये बोलेंगे, पर आपको थोड़ी ताली तो बजाइए प्लीज।
मैं बचपन से बहुत कुछ काम कर रहा हूँ, ऑफिस से लेके आज तक काम करते आ रहा हूँ। मुझे पता नहीं कि भाई कहाँ से चला, कहाँ पहुँचा, पता ही नहीं चला। कहता है कि one should do not see backward and forward also. And go on working, then we will find that you have gone so far. So we should do things everywhere. That's all.
Thank you so much. These words can only come from experience. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice having you here, and we will call you back. I'll request my lady here and like to please help sir reach a comfortable place for him to sit. Thank you so much. Moving on, the next person who is awarded the Bharat Samman Award is again here on stage with us. Shri Anjan Srivastav ji. He is a veteran stage theatre and Bollywood actor. One of the very well-known. He has no idea he's going to be felicitating next. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please let him know about this. To our applauses. Yes, thank you so much.
अंजन जी
शुक्रिया।
सर सिर्फ शुक्रिया से हमारा पेट नहीं भरेगा, आपको आके कुछ बोलना पड़ेगा। And I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear from you.
बोल देंगे ना।
नहीं, अभी बोलना पड़ेगा।
नहीं बोलना पड़ेगा।
हाँ, मैं आ जाती हूँ आपको लेने।
इधर ही माइक दे दो, इधर यहीं पे दे दो।
Check.
हाँ ठीक है ठीक है।
Check. आप थोड़ा स्माइल कीजिए। क्या बात है।
बैठ दो बैठ दो।
क्या बोलूं, कैसे बोलूं, क्यों बोलूं? शुक्रिया, शुक्रिया, आप सबका शुक्रिया। इस संस्था बूम एनिवर्सरी में मुझे आने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ। आई एम थैंकफुल टू मिस्टर निर्मल बंसल, जिन्होंने बार-बार मुझे फोन करके आज कट माय शूट डे, loss of some money. Even then, it's a very big opportunity. It's an honor to me. I'm very, very happy actually. I never thought, once upon a time when, first time, 32 years back, Wagle was running. At that time, somebody from hydraulic engineer from Hyderabad, I just met him and he told, hello, Dr. Wagle. Doctor, I'm not doctor, sir. I'm Wagle. It is Srinivas Wagle. But today, after so many years, 34 years, you are asking me to be doctor. Saman I got, I'm trying to be each and everybody. Saman, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think the real Samman is what we got by having you here with us. So thank you so much, Srivastav sir. Thank you. Lady, can I request you to please help, sir? Moving on to the next person, we have Shri Timmy Mehta ji, who's again here on stage with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for him as he's our next awardee for the Bharat Samman Award. So I've realized one thing, whosoever I praise with respect to their smiles, you alone clap for that person.
Wait. Wait, Timmy ji. Sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. We've been waiting to hear from you, sir. So here's your mic.
Thank you, Sorbon. Thank you, John, sir. Thank you, Vivek ji and Nirma ji and the team. मैं तो इतना कहूँगा कि अगर आपको जिंदगी में कुछ पॉसिबल करना है तो नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल। थैंक यू सो मच।
क्या बात है?
All these words are coming from great experiences. Alright, moving on to the next person who's going to receive the Bharat Samman felicitation is a very own and very favorite Madhav ji, who's already on stage with us. Can I request everyone to please put your hands together for him, also known as Acharya ji.
थैंक यू।
आचार्य जी, आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आप कुछ कहें प्लीज।
ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्र्यवतु संसरस्वत्यै नमः। अत्र समुपस्थिताः सर्वे जनाः, प्रथमम् अहं सर्वे जनां प्रति मम हार्दिक शुभाशयाः प्रयच्छामि। सामान्यतः यद्यपि संस्कृत समझना आसान नहीं, लेकिन समझ में आ भी जाती है, फिर भी उसका रसास्वादन सबके लिए इतना आसान नहीं। इट इज नॉट दैट इजी फॉर एवरीवन टू enjoy what has been said in Sanskrit. People, they can understand, they can grasp it about, okay, what has been said, it is something near to that, but they can't go through each and every word, and they can't enjoy word wise. So now what I would like you to say is that with this mantra, what I have requested to that Almighty is that Prano Devi Saraswati, we follow what we think, and what we follow is that Saraswati is the goddess who showers the great knowledge to every human being. So that great knowledge should be showered to every human being who prays to the God. That's what I request and pray to the God.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to the next person, I would request and invite on stage Dr. Rajiv Dubey, former CMD, Canara Bank, and a veteran of financial and banking sector, on stage, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Rajiv Dubey, please. I'm missing one person on stage, Dr. Tyagi. So wherever you are, can I request you to please come and join us on stage? Thank you.
थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vivek. You surprised and shocked. Anyway, most welcome. Thank you very much. Well, friends, what I learned in my life, just a few words I'll say. Work as hard as you can. जितनी मेहनत जो कुछ कर सकते हो करो, सारी दुनिया के लिए करो, सबके लिए करो. Help others. जियो दूसरों के लिए. आप तो खुद जी जाओगे. जियो दूसरों के लिए. Realize dreams of others. Your dreams will automatically be realized. And attain excellence in whatever you do. जो कुछ करो सबसे अच्छा। ये मेरी प्रार्थना है, भगवान आप सबको वो ज्ञान जो स्वामी जी ने कहा और वो शक्ति दे कि हम सब वो पा सके जो हम चाहते हैं सबके। धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. Our next person who receives this award is Dr. G.P. Gupta, former bureaucrat and former Controller General of Accounts. Bharat Samman to him is for his contribution in public finance and debt management, and for being a member of the team on allocation of resources after abrogation of Article 370. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. G.P. Gupta is on his way to the stage. Can I request you to please put your hands together for him?
बीच में ये सर, बीच में सेंटर में। त्यागी जी, या ऑल वेट सर। थैंक यू।
So So we just spoke about mental wellness and happiness a while ago, and I think the look on your face gives us what happiness actually looks like. I would request you to say a few words to everyone out here, please.
It's indeed difficult to say anything after so many luminaries, so many learned people have spoken here. First of all, I must thank everyone here who has been part of this great journey of recognition. Just the other day when the jury was interacting with me, one of the last question, but the most difficult question that they asked me was, how does this doctorate, how does this recognition add value to your career? I said, well, in the normal course, the degrees are there to seek jobs, but now I have passed that stage. I would only say that there is a very credible institution which is now stamping all your experience, all your work of the life. And I think that itself is a great feeling that one would have at this stage of life. But having said that, I think I would echo the sentiments of Dr. Dubey that wherever you are, whatever you are, wherever you can contribute to the larger good of the society, and definitely after having finished the active career with the government, I would dedicate myself now with this renewed effort to be whatever be the cause, to contribute in whatever manner I can. But once again, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Well, it's time for me to invite on stage our last award winner, Dr. Shailendra Kumar, Managing Director, Tax India Online Limited for Bharat Samman, towards his contribution in the Indian tax system and reforms, public policy, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, the person is already on his way, but the claps are not on your way. Please put your hands together for Dr. Shailendra Kumar. Okay. With them a little further so that they will clap at least. Yeah?
Good evening, dignitaries and superior dignitaries in the audience. I am stunned, dumbfounded, in fact. I never expected, but against so many tall Qutub Minars of experiences which we have today, I personally feel that every recognition in whatever form is a very violent and aggressive push to you to do something more meaningful for the society at large. And when I talk about society, we are looking at humanity in total. Certainly not the local society or the welfare of the local people. In fact, all of us, in the process of a journey, whatever profession or vocation we are into, this journey is a learning process, and all of us have got something to contribute. And this contribution, if we put it in a good luck, that becomes a mega project, a mega experience, perhaps what is in the management lingo that is described as best practices. So all of us, we need to contribute whatever little we know, because knowledge is an ocean which is bigger than Pacific, Atlantic and Indian. And we just need to swim. And all of us are swimming, in fact. Some of us, perhaps, we look at ourselves as this swimming is a journey which has come to an end, but it doesn't end there. It continues, and we need to contribute
in whatever manner, holding each other's hands, keep swimming, and helping each other, whatever manner, wherever possible, with little resources and no resources. Because Almighty has given certain resources in us, and that is the positive energy. And that is the biggest energy, and that is the biggest thing which we have, the biggest resource which we can share with all of us. So thank you.
Thank you
It's
so
a wonderful
much.
experience, sir. But I was not very sure that I'm really worthy of it. But you
was surprised from Dr. Bansal.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So right, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shailendra Kumar. Thank you so much. And congratulations. Thank you so much, Dr. Tyagi, for joining us on stage. I would request Dr. Prada and Dr. Chaudhary to please stay on stage with us. It's time for what we all have been waiting for, and for many of us amongst us have been waiting for. It's time for us to start with the award function, the main doctorate degree. We spoke about mental wellness, and I think when Anil Khandelwal sir started his conversation, he spoke about blood pressure and the issues that people are actually facing in today's time. Let me tell you one simple solution, and trust me, it works. I've seen it for the many years I've been standing on the side of the stage as an MC. All you have to do is just put these two hands together. Trust me, it works. You all can Google it. You all have your phones on you. Trust me, your blood pressure is in place, and so is your heart rate if you put your hands together like this. All right. I think that might work also for the next few minutes that we're going to be calling our awardees on stage. All right. So my people backstage are ready, and so am I. So let's start with the one who has been my favorite so far. And it's always been the first person to come on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, no special introduction. Please put your hands together for Padma Bhushan Dr. Ram Sultan ji, please. Padma Bhushan Dr. Sultan is an institution in himself and is a renowned sculptor and scholar. A gold medalist from Sir J.T. School of Art, Bombay in sculpture, Dr. Sultan started his career in 1954 as a modeler in the Department of Archaeology, Southwestern Circle, Aurangabad, Maharashtra. From 1959 onwards, he's been working as a freelance sculptor, making monumental statues. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. A little louder, please. One of his most notable work was the 45 feet Chambal monument at the Gandhi Sagar Dam in Madhya Pradesh. And sir, you're not going to be alone this time. We'll call special someone to be sharing this stage, your very own son, and this is first time in the history of Sorbon that we'll have the father and son duo getting a doctorate degree on the same stage on the same day. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Anil Ram Sultan, please. The applause has to go on. Born in Dhule district of Maharashtra on 11th October 1957, Anil Ram Sultan is a renowned sculptor and scholar. He has a Bachelor of Architecture from the School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, and Master's degree in Architecture and Urban Design from Washington University, St. Louis, Missouri, USA. Anil sir has been honored with Polo Star Award for his contribution in the field of sculptors, awarded by Mongolian government. Ladies and gentlemen, this amazing duo, the father and son duo on stage.
सामने देखिए सर.
Making a history in itself, huh? Getting a doctorate degree on the same day. Very good, amazing, amazing. It's a pleasure to have you guys here.
मिल नहीं रहा ना फिर. क्या करें?
Moving on to the next person, we had him here on stage a while ago, Dr. Madhav Prapan Acharya, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. He's right there. He's a sannyasi since 2004. He took all the divine education from Swami Ranganath Acharya ji in Ujjain. He's learned in Rigveda, Kramapat, Vedanta, Sanskrit, Paniniya, Vyakarna, studied logic, Dharma Shastra,